Hey y'all, I'm back with a pocket page process video, and this is in my beach mini album. I'm using one of the July releases from Feed Your Craft, and this one is called Soak Up the Fun. I love this kit. I used it in one of my July projects as well. And so the first thing that I'm doing is I'm grabbing my cards. I'm using these Pseudo Calico page protectors, and they are obviously there's four 3x4 pockets, and they have like two holes at the top and two holes at the bottom, and I don't think that they fit in regular, like if you have Simple Stories albums or like your typical, I'm trying to think of what the other, oh, like Becky Higgins. I don't think that they fit in those albums. If I can, I'm sure you can punch your own holes if you wanted to, but these are made for the Studio Calico albums. So one of the first things I did was I cut up one of the cards. I loved the sunglasses at the top, but I wanted that on a different pattern, and so I just cut the top strip off and then adhered it to the pattern with some semicircles. It's kind of has a fun little design. And then the next thing that I did was I stamped out one of the stamps from the stamp set um, the onto some white cardstock, and then I cut that out with my scissors. And I always link these scissors down below. It's actually an American Crafts toolkit, and it's one of my favorites. I love those scissors. They're nonstick. Also, it comes with like the toolkit comes with like a pokey tool, tweezers, I think like an X-Acto knife, and maybe even like a cutting mat. I know it comes with a cutting mat. And one thing I'll say about that too is I found it on Amazon, but I actually bought mine at Joann's at Tuesday Morning, and it was pretty cheap. And so you could also, if you have one, you could also check your local Tuesday Morning. While I was talking, I stamped out a couple of embellishments on cork. Y'all know I love to do that. It's one of my favorite things, especially like when I'm stuck and I'm not really sure what I want to do. That's kind of like one of my go-to things, and so that's one of the reasons I love circular stamps. I've talked about this before, is because they make such easy embellishments, and then I love stamps in general because you can create your own embellishment like in a flash. So the next thing that I am doing, or the next thing I did, was went ahead and wrote out my journaling and stamped the date. And then now I am moving on to the back side of that. I actually did this off camera, I think because I was using my typewriter and I messed up and I wanted to find like a quick fix for whatever I messed up on. So I found some alphas. I think when I was typing, I don't think I spelled something wrong, but goodness, I can't remember what I did. Oh, instead of putting an apostrophe, I put like a comma, and then I tried to go back over it, and it just didn't work out. And so what I ended up doing was using some little small alphas to write out the word that I was actually wanting. And then on this photo, so it's really kind of weird. I use StazOn ink for my to stamp on photos, and I'll link both inks down below that I use most frequently. But like 9 times out of 10 it works, and then every so often, like watch this one stamps out near perfectly. It's crazy. So the one up on top, it kind of was a little like not smudgy, but it wasn't a clear impression. The one where my feet are in the sand, and then that one was, the other stamp set, like the other stamp, the image was near perfect on the one of my daughter on in the ocean. So I don't know. It was really strange, and I'm still trying to kind of figure out. It's the same paper, same ink. I'm kind of trying to figure out what's going on, and it could be that I didn't like really prep my stamps too. Like maybe there was residue on them, so it could be that, because these are great stamps. Like I never have issues with these photopolymer stamps from Feed Your Craft. They always stamp like pretty perfect. So I grabbed a couple of embellishments from the digital kit. These are the things that I'm using right now: the tickets, the journaling pieces, the little ephemera pieces. So I went ahead and stamped out the same stamp that I used in my July video. This one, it's a little stamp that says hanging out, and it says at the beach, or on the beach, I think, at the pool, and under the sun, and I just absolutely love that stamp. So I used my little Papermate pen to check off which one we were doing. And then I also used one of the other little labels to stamp out Paradise Found, and I added that to the bottom of that Fun Times card. And then I used a little tiny text sticker on that ticket where I kind of layered the hanging out tag on top of the ticket. And so I really like the way that turned out. And then now I am using one of the stamps from actually an old stamp set. It was like one of the, what was it called? I could probably pull it out. It was called Beauty Craft Here and There. And it was one of the stamp sets from one of the other releases, and I stamped that real quick because I think it said like Explore, Wonder, Document, and it was just kind of a nice little touch. I just stamped it on white cardstock and then added a little ice cream cone right in the center. That pretty much finishes up my page, and I love the way these 2 pages turned out. I hope you guys did too, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.